Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hanging with Drummer Boy Jones. Tonight, I have a good friend of mine. It's probably my oldest friend. We're going on 50 years.
50 years.
50 years. We
I've been
grew
hanging
up,
with Drummer Boy Jones for a very long time.
and also one of the funniest guys I've ever met in my life. You put him and Hawks in a room, and I'm pretty much going to have a stroke. So, coming up right after this, my conversation with my good friend Chris Fryman, and we're going to go down the Gnr road tonight, Guns N' Roses, right after this. Hey, everybody, and thanks again for hanging out with me. And like I said, tonight I've got a good friend of mine, Chris Fryman. Like I said, my oldest friend. We lived on the same street together. We practically moved in on that neighborhood practically the same year. I think I was 6 and you was 5, or was I 7 and you was 6?
Well, we're only 3 months different, so no, you might have just turned 6, and I was right behind you.
Yeah.
1978.
Wow. Unbelievable. Crazy, isn't it?
Back when all these bands we were about to talk didn't exist.
Didn't exist. Yeah. Fryman gave me, I've made it known that, Corey Smith is probably the first person that got me into heavy metal with bringing over a Shout at the Devil record. And then you and your older brother, Dale, took it from there. I'd never heard of Rat and Dokken and Y&T and Black and Blue and all of this kind of stuff until I met this guy. And this was it. I'd done known him for several years, but anyways. So, thank you, my brother, for coming and hanging out with me.
Thanks for having me. Been looking forward to this.
So, tell my audience, cause I'm actually getting some views way off, so a lot of people don't know where we live. I tell everybody we're outside of Nashville, Tennessee. But tell my audience what you want them to know about you, my friend.
Well, my name is Chris Fryman. Like Drummer Boy Jones said here, we and him been friends since about 1978. We definitely grew up together and shared our love of music together. And I'm 52 years old. I've been a barber for 20-something years over at the corner barber shop. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Other than that, I'm still stuck in the 80s. If you think that you grew up at a time when music was great, then you grew up in the 80s. I mean, it's still that way today, in my opinion. Not to say there ain't some good stuff out there, like y'all talked about Shinedown last week, but it's few and far between these days, in my opinion.
Very far.
We were fortunate to grow up in the 80s. I'm a lover of 80s music mainly, 80s movies. 80s was just a great time to be alive.
Yeah. So, okay. Before we get into our topic of tonight, which is Guns N' Roses, what do you feel about bands? And we've had this conversation on a couple of different podcasts. What do you feel about your favorite 80s bands that are putting out music in the late 90s, early 2000s?
I got to be honest. I'm not as in love with their later stuff. Almost all of them, But to be honest, I've not really took the time to. Well, like talking about like Guns N' Roses tonight. I'm going to be honest. I've not listened to Chinese Democracy through one time.
Yeah.
I've heard bits
just didn't grab you.
Yeah, and I'll be
same way.
My music tastes have changed over the years. I still love the stuff from the '80s, but I like different kinds of stuff now, and a lot of it has to do with it just wasn't out there for a while. Even you think about bands that we grew up with and listening to in the '80s. They don't put out like they used. Some do. I'm going to give some props to bands like Stryper, L.A. Guns. They seem to still want to make new music.
What about? Sorry to cut you off, but what about my two favorite releases of last year? If it might even be 2 years ago, is Winger and Extreme.
Extreme, as you know, that's one of my favorites from the 80s. And, when I was having my heart surgery a few years ago, this man right here was kind enough to buy me
I forgot about
the
that.
Extreme album, which I'd already, I literally downloaded that CD laying in a hospital bed in St. Thomas Hospital. And not only does Extreme make new music, they make good new music.
That's where I was going.
And I'm not, and the Winger album, I've not listened to it as much, but he seems to be on top of things too.
So
and,
good.
and I don't want to, like I love Stryper, and we've talked about LA Guns before. I don't know.
They still are doing what they do.
Yeah, and they're a good band to see live. I just wasn't a huge fan of them back in the day. I don't know why they fit the category of everything
Weird,
we
isn't it?
love. Yeah, and I think we've talked about that too.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm not a big LA Guns fan.
And a couple of weeks ago I saw them at Beaver Dam. They're phenomenal live.
Yeah.
It's a shame to say it, but the lead singer's name is escaping me right now.
Oh, Phil Lewis.
Phil Lewis. Phenomenal. We was talking about that earlier. Phenomenal singer live still today, and he's almost 70
It
years
is.
old.
Yeah.
They put something out, it seems like every 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Not quite like it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
But, they still have a love for making new music, and I guess I should respect them a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially Stryper, because I was a big Stryper fan.
Yeah.
You were a big Stryper
Yeah.
fan. And Michael Sweet, he still promotes, not just his old stuff, he promotes
Oh yeah.
new stuff.
When the new one, and they've only got every record is just they're slowly becoming a hard rock
yes,
band.
Yes.
The
I can't
last one I heard, and I've got it, was Goddamn Devil.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was heavy.
Is that
heavy.
the one that had Sorry and
I think it was.
and The Valley?
Yeah, I think
There
so.
was actually, and I remember those, and I've seen them. That's a band that still comes around.
Yeah.
Too. You see them,
and
live.
it's fantastic.
They're phenomenal.
They're still fantastic.
Phenomenal, and you can hand it to Michael Sweet. He's not just, there's a lot of, ones that we loved back in the day. A lot of musicians, a lot of bands that they're rehashing, and that's what we want to hear mostly too.
Yeah.
But I respect the ones that still they throw in the original every now and then.
Yeah.
Not originals, new original
Yeah.
every now and then, and it's our bands from the 80s. They don't do that a whole lot anymore.
No.
I mean,
You take like The Crew. I personally liked Saints of Los Angeles. I didn't think it was great. Now, the Saints of Los Angeles song I thought was fantastic. But ever since then, everything they've put out to me is just garbage.
well, it was their. I will say this about Saints of Los Angeles: it was their best post-Karabi album,
Yeah.
and it doesn't come close to a pre-Karabi album.
Right. And it's still not there.
Right.
Same way of Poison. We waited and waited. I'm a huge fan of Poison's Crack a Smile with Blue Saraceno. I think it's one of the best Poison records they've done. I like it better than Native Tongue. I don't like it better than the first three. Right. The prime CC records.
Albums that made Poison.
Yeah, but I do like it better than Native Tongue. But the songs they put on Power to the People, those original songs, fantastic. Loved them. The songs that they put on, what was the other live album? The Swallow This Life.
Yeah.
So Tell Me Why, all of that, fantastic.
It's good stuff.
Loved them. Hollywood was a steaming pile of shit.
Yes.
And that was the original band.
I think I listened it once through, and
Oh, it's horrible.
I'm not sure I've listened to anything off of it again.
Oh, it's awful. So, it's a double-edged sword, and that's what we was talking about earlier. You want them to put out new music, but 9 times out of 10, when they put out new music, it's not that good.
And I'll even say this, there is a small faction of bands that are trying to come out as the 80s hair metal, and they're so. Have you heard of a band called Gunshine?
Actually, yes, I have.
Okay,
Very good.
very very good band, and I still can't see.
AC/DC is...
A collection of all that from the 80s.
Yeah.
They would have fit right in.
Yeah.
And I still, even though I can't find my love for that like I can for the 80s stuff.
But-
And I don't know if that's me.
They're not rock stars no more.
That's it.
They get up looking like me and you playing music. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
But I'm just saying, you know,
They used
there's
to buy an album depending on how pretty they were.
absolutely.
You know.
I probably would never bought Poison, and
No,
I thought it's
there
four
were
hot
some gorgeous
chicks.
dudes back in the day, and you know that attracted us.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, you know,
Look, I don't know if you can see this.
look how pretty that.
Scott
band
gave me
was.
that. Look at that, Warrant.
Yes.
Look at that.
And
I
when
mean-
you first see, you know, when
You're like-
you first heard Down Boys, you had no idea how good a songwriter that man was.
Yeah.
You know,
And I beat that to death, and the Gurus beat it to death, and Anthony's beat it to death, and I will continue beating that drum to death.
he's the most underrated songwriter from the
Yeah.
80s scene. And the reason, you know, the reason I think so is because we talk about what we're talking about here, about the albums that we love, you know, which Dog Eat Dog, in my opinion, is
Yeah.
my favorite by them, and the 80s scene was already on the downward
It was
spiral.
done, yeah.
Yeah. But Ultraphobic, Belly to Belly, great stuff that you might not have ever heard of.
Yeah.
If you stop listening to that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
because a lot of people didn't even
And
listen
I
to
can't
Dog
say
Eat
that
Dog.
about other, and I compare them to, and I'm not for sure. I meant to check this before it comes because I figured Warrant would come up at some point. Did Dirty Rotten Filthy come out the same time as Skid Row's first album?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Love that album. Slave to the Ground. Phenomenal albums.
No, well, the both of their debuts come out at the same time.
Right. What I'm saying is,
Oh,
you know, you go, you
like
start walking down
Slave-
Lawrence.
Yeah.
I know 4. I know 5. You
Yeah.
know, after Janie left, you know, I didn't. Well, it's like the one that they had with Jamie St. James.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Jamie St. James fan.
I know you're a
Black and
big Black and Blue.
Blue, but I didn't.
You didn't
know.
get it, yeah.
And you know, Robert Mason. I think he's a phenomenal guy.
I agree.
Phenomenal singer, but I've really not liked a whole lot of that he's done.
I respect it. Me and you've had that conversation. We went to that same show with Warrant, with Robert Mason. You've even seen him several other times. This guy goes to every concert and festival that there is. So,
I find places that I didn't know existed. Have you ever seen? a
Did you
concert
say
in Dale,
Beaver
Indiana?
Dam?
I just watched Adler's Appetite in Dale, Indiana.
Dale,
at the Lincoln
Indiana.
Amphitheater.
Wow.
Never knew none of that existed.
We're going to get to that here in just
yeah.
a few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I don't know where we was going with that, but yeah. Robert Mason. I respect it. I mean, I respect them. They still got to make a living. And Robert Mason is a good singer. I just don't think his voice fits with Warrant. He's got that. Me and Patrick talked about it on another one. He's got that bluesier type voice. I think he's a hell of a front man, but I just don't. You know, and you said it perfectly. When are you ever going to get to ever hear these songs again live?
Yeah, and that's my key to this. You know, what aggravates me about some of this stuff is like Skid Row. It can still happen. You know, and I'm sorry, Sebastian Bach by himself, 400 or 500 people. Skid Row by themselves, 400 or 500 people. Them two together, 4,000 or 5,000 people.
That's right.
You know,
They ain't going to sell out an arena, but they're going
they're
to.
going to put people in the seats, and I'm going to be one of them.
I'll be one
You
of
know,
them.
and,
Absolutely.
You know, with Warrant, I love Warrant, and that's the only way you're going to see it live.
That's
God
it.
rest his soul.
Janie's gone.
He's gone. He left unbelievable stuff for us to listen to. You know, and the thing about it is not only was he a great songwriter, he was a great singer and a great frontman. He was just great all the way.
He was just all. He had the looks. He had it all.
Everything, and
Had it all.
And
Even
unfortunately,
alcoholism.
he had a bad
Sorry,
drug
but he
problem
did.
to go with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Alcohol. Yeah.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Maybe drugs too, but I'm
he just
predominantly
he went down a
alcohol.
bad path.
Yeah.
That he didn't get the opportunity to come back from. But you know, that's my what I was getting at though is, you know, I don't listen to a lot of the stuff that the bands that we loved back in the day still make because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like some of those guys just they go through the motions, especially live. You know, like you go see, Night Ranger.
Yeah.
If you go see Night Ranger, and you like Night Ranger.
I love Night
Yeah,
Ranger.
okay.
Yeah.
Live, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Those guys don't go through the motion.
Yeah.
I told Scott Carver, my cousin, you know,
Yeah.
grew up with us.
Yep.
You know, we went to the Monsters on the Mountain. He wasn't a big Night Ranger fan. He was like, "Why are you getting excited?" I said, "Because you've not seen them live."
Yeah.
I said, "You see them live, you'll think differently." And today, they come, he wants to go.
Yeah,
He's
going to see Night Ranger.
And the same, I guess what I'm getting at is the same thing as with writing music. You know, I'm not saying that LA Guns ain't putting out good stuff. It's just not. It's not the '80s anymore.
Yeah, it just don't. It's not that it's bad.
No.
It just don't. It don't grab me. Anymore, yeah, it don't. Know? It just. Yeah. So this is what happens when when my good friends come over to hang out with me in the garage. We pick a topic and we spend 15, 20, 30 minutes on absolutely not what the topic was.
We'll be talking about football before it's over with.
Yep. We have pride football's coming. Me and Fryman's had some long talks. Long talks. I mean, we've went from music to family to religion to I mean everything in one set. Exactly. So, all right, let's attempt to go down the Guns N' Roses road, but this title of this might be Gnr plus much more. Maybe that might be the episode. So, both of us was running around together at that time when this album dropped in 1987. Funny story, and I think somebody will always chime in and say you're not right, but I'm almost positive that Gnr Appetite for Destruction and Faster Pussycat's first record came out the same day. I'm pretty sure of that.
The same day. Well, I knew it was 87.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the same day. I might be wrong, and I could probably easily Google or whatever, but anyways. Which both those records had a huge influence on me. But one of those records had a huge influence on the whole scene, the whole world, you know, and it was Appetite.
Appetite for Destruction.
It changed the game. It changed everybody's game because everybody was pretty. Everybody had, you know, because I'm not knocking on this because you know Warrant's my favorite band in the world, but you had your Warrants, Whitesnake, Poison, Motley Crue, Glam, and all of that stuff. And Gnr comes out looking like they just crawled out of the gutter, and their music reflected that.
Oh, yeah.
They was so raw. They was so. It was a game changer. So can you go back? Can you think of the first time? Which I know we didn't get it on opening day. I'm pretty sure we didn't, but because we didn't know them. But when did you first hear that and go, "Damn, that's good"?
You know, I don't even know if my first impressions was. We were so immature about stuff like that, as far as image over content. That you know, the image would grab me before anything else.
Yeah.
And the first thing I remember is Dirty Old Axl stepping off of that bus and Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
You know, good song, great song now.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, you know, but and then you know, I don't know. It just you know, I appreciate that album more now than I did back then. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was you know, you think about '87. You know, and we talked about this earlier. You know, their second album, which technically is
Lies.
Yeah. However, we're talking, you know, 30-something minutes. If you
you snapping your fingers, Sam was like, "Yeah, what?"
A few covers and that. So I just feel like that was an album that they put together just to ride the wave of what was happening with Gnr. You know,
they sold millions and millions.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean,
but it was a slow burn.
Oh yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You know, it just didn't. You know, it just didn't go away.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about Crew. You know, every year. You know, 84, Shout, 85, Theater, 87. I think.
Every 2 years you had a new Crew record.
A year and a half, really. I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I think Feel Good come out in 89.
89.
And then the first one come out in 83 on. Come out in 81, but on Elektra it was 83.
82, and then first 81, 82 was the official release, and then 83 was Shout.
Right, and they were putting out every year and a half. well, something was different about Appetite for Destruction. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, how many singles did it have?
I know 4. I know you had, Welcome to the Jungle, and then the second one, Sweet Child of Mine, and then you had, Paradise City. Did they have another one? I think it was just 3.
Well, when I look at Wikipedia, and I'm not for sure if this is correct or not, because sometimes they're not. And believe this or not, and this is going to shock you because I didn't realize it either, but according to them, It's So Easy and Mr. Brownstone came out before Welcome to the Jungle.
Really?
Like I said,
I don't know that. I mean, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
But they tried to push that maybe first.
Yeah, maybe, like a couple of months before. And then also...
Sort of how like Cry Tough was Poison's first single, but
exactly,
you never heard them until Talk Dirty. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but Mr. Brownstone's in there too. I didn't realize it, but it was a single.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but back in the day when we were listening to this stuff, you get an album. If you're lucky, you get a couple of good singles off of it, and you're on to the next one. And if you're real lucky, you get maybe your third one, like Poison did a few times, and stuff like that. But and today, and you didn't hear the B stuff.
Yeah.
It was up to you to buy the album, and you hear the B stuff.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, some of the radio stations back in the day pushed the B stuff.
The B stuff
from Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I thought Rocket Queen was a single.
It's one of my that is probably my all-time favorite
phenomenal song. I mean,
of Gnr.
There are B songs on Appetite that bands wish that they could have for their single.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you think about you.
My Michelle.
Crazy. My Michelle.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's a classic album, and it's been played to death. I still can listen to Welcome to the Jungle. I can still, when you're at a concert and you hear that opening, dun, 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 the opening, everybody goes batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If I never hear Sweet Child of Mine and Paradise City again, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, every time it comes on, I'm turning it up. It's one of the biggest of all times, right? I mean, around up there, probably in the top.
As far as the your first attempt, your first album is the biggest of all time.
Okay.
30 million worldwide.
30 million is what it's at now.
Yeah.
30.
United States at 19 million. And I looked this up just because, a band that me and you both have mutually loved, even with another singer.
Yeah.
From Too Fast for Love to Dr. Feelgood.
The 5 biggest.
The 5. Nobody's going to question that.
Yeah.
Not the 5 greatest, I don't think. The
No.
5 biggest.
Right. It's still under
that. It's right there. That the crew might edge them out by 1 million for one album. Their first album.
Their first.
That's amazing.
It was so raw.
Okay, according to Wikipedia, It's So Easy, and this is weird. It's So Easy and Mr. Brownstone released June 8th of 1987. Welcome to the Jungle, September the 21st of 87. Sweet Child of Mine, all the way to June. I don't remember that being June of 88.
I know, Welcome to the Jungle was a slow burn. I remember seeing that video for months. And I'm not going to lie, even when I first heard Sweet Child of Mine, I didn't like it. I didn't like that song.
It's a fun song to hear live.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Kickstart Your Heart to me.
Yeah.
If I hear that on the radio, I'm turning it.
I'm a same. Yeah.
But live is pretty cool.
Yeah. You're in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You're in the
But Sweet Child of Mine was June 3rd. According to this, that's the only single for that album that year. Because Paradise City doesn't come around till 89.
89?
January of 89. And then Night Train, July of 89. So if this is correct, from June 8th, It's So Easy to Mr. Brownstone to Night Train, July of 89. That's over 2 years.
Wow.
A lot of the big bands, I guess it's just it was so big and they were making so much money off of it.
It just doesn't.
Why go on to another one
when you can
put out Night Train 2 years later? And in my personal opinion, that's the best song on the CD.
That's good. That is good. I don't know. Mine's Rocket Queen. It'll always be. Rocket Queen's my favorite song they've ever done. But yeah, Night Train's fantastic.
But I'll ask you this question then. How much more mature was that album than, like, say, well, I mean, I'm not going to bring up Dirty Rotten Filthy because he was a great songwriter,
Yeah.
but other bands, Guns N' Roses, were they really known to be great songwriters? I mean,
Not really. Not really. Not that I know of.
I mean, maybe
They
collectively,
yeah,
but there wasn't a Janie Lane in that bunch.
yeah. I think, well, there might have been, and it was probably, it was probably, guitar player, what's his name?
Oh, Eric Turner? Or
No, Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Guns N' Roses. Easy?
Yeah, it was Easy.
Yeah.
I think Easy was the brains behind a lot of that. I don't know that for sure, but yeah, I mean, those five together, and then like you said, they put out Lies, what, in 89 or 90?
It said 88 on there, but I thought.
Oh, is it 88?
That's what it said.
Really?
Let me make sure.
So Patience then would have been in 88. I was thinking it was a little
Okay,
bit.
it says it come out in 1988, but the single Patience didn't come out till March 31st, 89.
Okay.
But
Either which
according to
way,
that,
that was-
then, see, I'm fact checking myself here. That doesn't seem to be right. Did Patience come out before Night Train did as a single on the
I
first
wouldn't
album?
think so.
That don't make any sense.
That don't make
Well,
no sense.
Nothing about that album made any sense.
Yeah. When it first come out, I was like, Patience, or not Patience, but Lies. I thought, I heard yours. You brought it. You know, I don't know if you brought it from, I don't know, but I heard it from you. And I was like, I gotta have it. And then I heard it, and I was like, this sucks, because you was used to Appetite, and then you got an acoustic record, and it's like, looking back now, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the live part of it. Used to Love Her, Had to Kill Her is fantastic. The one that got in so much trouble of One in a Million. One in a Million. So yeah, the One in a Million, loved it. Thought that was, now looking back, I like every bit of it. I like it. No, it is not anywhere near. And it was just a holdover till they could start doing something else.
I agree.
That's all it
1000%.
Because I think the original, that Live Like a Suicide, wasn't that their original EP,
Yeah.
maybe?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it had been out before, so they re-released it because of the demands. And who knows how many copies did Lies sell?
And like you just said, to show you how big this band was, it was a holdover to the next album. That holdover sold 5 million copies.
5 million copies
5
of
million.
an acoustic EP and a half live record.
And in my opinion, the best thing you could call that is an EP from Guns
Yeah.
N' Roses.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, hey, if I could release that and sell 5 million, I would too. I mean, and that's what it was about. Let's make money off these guys while we can,
While they're alive.
while they're alive.
know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I guess when I started turning against Guns N' Roses was when they started getting the beef with the Crew. The Crew took them out.
Oh, yeah.
Guns N' Roses opened up for Motley on the Girls Tour. I know we seen them with Whitesnake before GNR got on that tour.
Right.
But, everything happened then. Nicky done his OD. I'm still questioning that.
Yeah. So does Michael Sweet.
So does Michael Sweet. Slash was, I know that's messed up. Slash was messed up, but then Axl and Vince starts fighting, and at that time, there was nothing better than Motley Crue to me. And if you mess with Motley Crue, so I turned against Gun. I was like, you don't mess with the Crew.
Them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words, yeah. But with that being said, we waited all these years till 91 or 92 was Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
91.
And me and Hawks talked about that. Me and you will go into it. So like you said, that's not a double release. They come out on the same day. It's practically a double record.
That's what I consider that.
And it should have been a single record. And I still don't know if it had enough songs to fill it up that I would have thought it was good. It would have never beat Appetite.
Never.
I mean, I like some of that stuff. I like November Rain. I like Estranged. You
There's
Could
some-
Be Mine. I didn't really.
It's okay.
It's,
I mean, it's
uh,
not a bad song, but it's, you know, listen, there's B songs on Appetite for Destructions are way better than those, you know.
You made a good comment earlier. The B-sides on Appetite was better than just about anything that anybody else put out on at that time.
Yep.
And Use Your Illusions 1 and 2, I know they sold massive amounts of records, but they was still, I think, was selling massive amounts of records because of Appetite, and they was a big band now. Because I know their videos went crazy with November Rain and
huge.
what's the other one? November Rain and
Don't Cry.
Don't Cry.
And you know how many copies those sold individually? 7 million apiece.
7 million
Yeah.
apiece. 14 million records off of a double record. I don't like Don't Cry.
It's okay.
It's okay, but
But you're comparing everything for Appetite for Destruction.
which
and
is
you're not gonna,
that's unfair.
Okay. Well, my personal opinion, and I'm going to sit here and say where they made their mistake at. They're going to go, really? We made a mistake by making 14 million more? I mean, okay. You know, keep cutting hair, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. Appreciate
But
your input.
I feel like it would have grabbed my attention. I got to be honest. I didn't listen to it near like I did Appetite, and I
Yeah.
got to be honest. For me, if you would have cut half of it out, I probably would have listened to it more and would have had a whole lot more respect for it.
Yeah,
But to me, they were still, let's do this. We're GNR. You know, we put one album out and an EP, and we're way above Motley. We're the pioneers of this.
Yeah.
And you can even bring up, God rest his soul, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
You know, who
he never sold that
He
kind
sold
of
good
records.
albums.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it was always what 2 or 3, 4 million or something.
yeah, and that was good. You can even go into Kiss; they don't even do that much.
Oh no,
You know,
Kiss.
Gold.
There you go.
Double platinum, and you got this band that comes out and you know, 19 million in the United States, 30 million worldwide, and I'm sure that wouldn't. I'm sure that's
Then.
gained some over there, but
Yeah.
but I bet
But
money.
it's probably 7 or 8 anyways at the time.
Oh yeah. I mean, just huge.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, you got these guys that are, hey, if y'all recorded it, we're putting it out
Yeah.
because people want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know.
And Axl tried to get into his orchestra phase and all that bullshit. They lost Izzy, which I think Izzy was still part of that recording, but I don't know of how
You're talking about
much
Use Your Illusion.
of Use Your Illusion.
Yeah,
I think he was part of the recording, but Steven recorded Civil War,
War.
and that was it. And I'm a drummer.
Mhm.
When you lost Steven Swing, and he was a huge part of that first record, the swing, and then you got, I'm sorry, what was the guy's name?
Matt Sorum.
Matt Sorum. Great drummer,
Yeah.
but he's a machine.
Yeah.
He's very great drummer. I'm not knocking that. But he's not, and technically can run circles around Steven Adler.
Oh yeah.
But he's not Steven Adler.
Well, I mean, it was slowly becoming the Axl Rose show.
Yeah. And I know, I get it. Steven was a heroin junkie, but damn, all of them was. Why did they all of a sudden pick up Steven and say, you're out? Maybe he was just that much worse. I don't know.
Well, he was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And like I've told you earlier, I've had the opportunity to see him a few times, and he
Yeah.
still holds his own, you know.
Yeah,
And
you can
he's-
tell he's
sure,
lost a
sure.
step with
And it
who
probably
hadn't
has
been,
something to, well, I mean,
the stroke and
Aldrich, Tommy Aldrich hadn't.
no, Tommy Aldrich.
He's inhuman.
He's 70-something years old and he's still a beast.
Yes. I mean, I saw him play for Whitesnake at M3 a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, there's one guy in this man that's not old.
Yeah, and he's the oldest one of the bunch.
Yes, he's like 104. You know, but he's
Yeah, me and
phenomenal.
Chuck seen them not long ago on that last tour they done, and then Chuck's like, "You want to see Whitesnake?" I was like, "No, not really." He's like, "Let's go," because Foreigner was opening up for him. So we went and we bought $10 grass seats, and it was money well spent.
Oh, yeah.
It was fantastic.
But
Yeah, I think they just lost the edge. They definitely lost the sleazy everything that made them. And I have nothing against a band maturing and going on and doing different things. But like you said, there's the biggest band that sold the biggest record in the world. So actually, they had nowhere to go but down. And even though it's 14 million records.
Yeah. That's what it is, though. You said it exactly. Is when you plateau at the beginning, you've got nowhere to go but down.
Yeah.
And when you're fortunate enough to knock Appetite for Destruction out of the park, I mean, you're just let down after letdown after that.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong; they had good
It's never
songs.
Appetite, or it's never this, or it's never that.
Right. And we talked about Chinese Democracy. Not even really familiar with it. Listened to it just a little bit. It's I'm not going to call somebody's work what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But come on, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Call it the Axl Rose, whatever it was.
Exactly.
Axl Rose
That's
side.
not Guns N' Roses. And when they got back, I had the opportunity to go see them.
Right.
And down at Nissan Stadium.
Right.
40, 50,000 people.
And Steven come out and played that night, right?
Yes, he did.
For 2 songs or
Easy's
something?
the only one that will not.
Won't do it.
No, he won't. But
He's probably still rolling in the
he's
30 million
like I
records.
said, if you
he's-
can believe the internet, which there's no lies on the internet.
No, it's all true.
It's all true.
If you
Easy's
get
still
sick,
worth
if
about
you get
$30
sick,
million.
look it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even Steven Adler, he's worth like $10 to $15 million, and
And snorted and shot half
I
of
don't
that.
tell him what those guys would be worth.
Yeah.
Well, Axel's worth like 250, Slash like 150,
Yeah.
Duff like 80, 90.
Yeah.
And I hate to tell him, I hope I'm not being disrespectful, but you take Appetite for Destruction away from that band, and I'm not even a fan. When I texted you the other night,
Yeah.
I said, one of the best albums from the '80s? It's not one of your favorite bands.
Yeah.
And they're really not one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, I agree.
But I would rank that
Easily in the top 5.
easily.
Easily.
And if I was honest, and my love of the band didn't influence me, it'd probably be number 1.
Yeah.
It really would. I mean,
Got a good point.
I think about albums that I like. Shout at the Devil. To me, it's almost perfect.
Yeah.
It's just a great album.
Yeah.
Slave to the Grind.
Yeah.
Love, phenomenal album.
So far, you're hitting things that, that one. Dog Eat Dog. That one.
Well, that album, that's the last best crew. Period.
Yeah.
We got to experience that.
Yeah, we did.
Met them 1994.
Yeah.
But when you say and that's what we're talking about on the side tangent from Guns N' Roses is Motley Crue hadn't done much in the last 30 years that I've been interested in.
Yeah.
And have you heard any of the GNR stuff, the one song here and the one song there that they've done? Awful.
Garbage.
And I will say that.
Same with the Crew. Canceled and all that.
Yeah, not good.
Golly.
Not good.
So saying I just assumed to heard 2 cats crack. It's just
With GNR.
nice hat, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Steve Whiteman.
Another good, just bouncing off the last album they put out.
Did not listen to it.
It's good. Rock Your Face Off. It's good. It don't hit me like, nothing what.
One of the funnest bands you ever watched.
Blow My Fuse. Blow My Fuse is right up there in my top.
Did you ever get to see them headline anything?
Yeah, they headlined at Monsters on the Mountain that one night.
Oh,
On
that's
the
right. I forgot
Saturday
about
night
that.
before you come up on Sunday.
Okay,
That's
no,
the
we saw
first
them.
time-
Yeah, that's right. They did headline that night. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the next year where they played.
The
They didn't
next year,
headline.
they come on. Did they come on before Piercy? That night?
No, Piercy was the
Piercy was the second from last
night.
because he opened up for
Hicks,
Queensryche, which
y'all
is
had to get
bullshit.
on 'cause Lori had started working. Y'all
Yeah.
had to leave, and you left right after that on Sunday. The
Yeah.
last ones you saw.
That's right.
Yeah, and
That's
I
right.
think Night Ranger and Firehouse was after.
And I think I missed Nelson. Was Nelson that day
Nelson,
too?
They were in the other stage, and we were not feeling like we were walking up them steps that quick.
Hey, that first Nelson record's a
It's
classic.
phenomenal.
It's great.
Yeah.
And the first song off the second record is fantastic. Was it All Shook Up? There was the first lead off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Great. It was great.
Those boys were born to be musicians.
Yeah. Had the looks, had it all. There's nobody bigger than them in what, 92? Somewhere around in there? 91, 92? No, it's been before that because we went and seen them, and enough's enough on strength. So yeah, probably 91, 92. Yeah.
But get back to GNR, you know, if you think about 50,000 people at Nissan Stadium, and in my opinion, full-length albums is Appetite for Destruction, Double Live, Double Use Your Illusion, and Chinese Democracy, and that's all we're talking about.
That's it.
Yeah, they got the Spaghetti Incident, and they've got which is all covers.
Yeah.
You know.
They darn. I mean, there's a
EP,
few on there.
And in my opinion, the EP is the second best thing they've done.
Yeah, the live.
You know. But
I liked
you
it.
want to know how big Appetite for Destruction was? That album alone will get you into Nissan Stadium.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're going on. Help me do math. 97, 2007,
38
17.
years.
So you're right at 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're still selling out freaking stadiums because of that record.
And if you go and watch them, I will hand it to Guns N' Roses.
They play like,
They play like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
They don't go through the motions and stuff like that. However, you'll find yourself waiting for the next Appetite for Destruction song.
yeah, yeah. How's that? I've seen on YouTube, but far as live, how was Axl's voice live?
Man, I mean, he's getting old like the rest of them. Like I was telling you earlier before we started this, I kind of feel like he's doing what he can, you know. But you know, and another one, I compare him to Vince. Has he ever sounded great live?
Well, we talked about that earlier. No, not really, but
Certain
when you hear him
times.
now, and you go back to that
Oh.
Carnival of Sins DVD and the comeback tour, yeah, he was badass.
You know, time is
But, you know-
kind to some and not to others.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's, you know, I'm not going to knock Vince. As much as I love John Corabi, and if John Corabi sings the phone book, I'm buying 10 copies of it. I love him. But if it was not for Vince, you wouldn't have Bret Michaels. You wouldn't have, you wouldn't have Bret Michaels. You probably wouldn't have Janie Lane. You wouldn't have, So Vince is a would you say, patriarch or?
He's a pioneer.
Pioneer. That's what I was
You
looking
know,
for.
the man that you're wearing on the shirt, he's the pioneer. And
he's
I'm not
the-
talking about Black Sabbath. I was talking to somebody this other day. No, we wasn't Black Sabbath fans. We were Ozzy fans.
Yeah, we was
Black
Ozzy
Sabbath
fans.
was 70. When we started liking it,
Yeah.
Ozzy already had a couple albums out.
Right.
Ozzy is the guy that in my opinion, he is the pioneer of hair metal
Yeah.
because he
Brought it.
Crazy Train, Bark at the Moon.
Yeah.
You know,
And I even told me and Jason done our Ozzy thing. Even when that come out, my first introduction to Ozzy was Bark at the Moon, the video on Headbangers Ball. I didn't really think that much of it. Shot at the Dark on the next record with Jake. I liked it, but I was not just like, oh,
it wasn't Bark at the Moon.
yeah, I don't, and then Bark at the Moon still, but now, when Zach got in the picture and they come out with either Crazy Babies or Miracle Man, whichever one's first, whole different ball game. Then I was like, holy, this is it.
And I will say this: I've sang a little in my life, but I'm not a musician. But in my personal opinion, and this might get a bunch of comments, Zakk Wylde is the greatest guitar player Ozzy Osbourne's ever had.
Completely
And I know what I
agree.
said right there.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
I think Randy was probably more influential because of just he started it.
Yeah, and he's
But-
phenomenal.
Oh, he's absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I agree. I'd go Zach, Randy, and Jake, and I like all of them, and all of
They're
them's
all
great.
They're all great.
They're all great,
That's
but
why
I
tell
just
people
prefer.
that, when you listen to that, Brad Gillis played for Ozzy. If you're wondering if he's a good guitar player,
Exactly.
He played for
He was on. Yeah.
Speak of the devil.
He was like, "You gotta get me out of here. I'm gonna die." I read something about that. He was like, "I'm gonna die." Same way Tommy Aldridge and Rudy.
Oh.
You imagine that seeing and Randy.
Oh wow.
You imagine
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
that? Well, you probably did see that. Did you see? No, you didn't see Randy. You seen
I
Bark
saw
at the
Jake
Moon,
Gillette.
didn't you?
No, I saw Ultimate Sin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ultimate Sin. Yeah, because that's when Rat and Y and T. Is that right?
No.
Rat and Tell me.
this is my if you ever get a do-over in life to go to concert, this is the one I want, because Ozzy with this terrible band that I just knew wouldn't go.
Oh, that's right.
Metallica opened up for him.
Master of Puppets. And it wasn't very long after that.
2 months, I think, if I ain't mistaken, it was 2 months to the day before Cliff Burton got killed. And,
They done pretty good for themselves. They did okay.
They hung around. It only cost me $1,000 for 3 tickets to go watch it. And I could have watched them that night for.
And I took a shot at you, and I'm sorry. We're best friends, and I can do that.
Right.
But you was like, it cost me $1,000. I sent you a text of a meme or something. Said, I paid $20 to see Metallica, and back then they was really good. Me and you've talked about Metallica. I'm not a big fan of their new stuff. I mean, I like it; it's good, but I'm not. I know you are.
Well, what I love, and what it's pick and choose for me with Metallica.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's hard to figure out that I became a Metallica fan with the Black Album, like a lot of people.
Like me too.
About the time that the original Metallica fans started not liking them because of that album.
Because it brought all of us in because
Exactly.
we didn't like them because they was thrash.
Right. Well, and I tell people all the time, you listen to Master of Puppets, Ride the Light, and it's not all thrash.
No.
But
Master
I love
Puppets
those albums now.
Master Puppets is my favorite record they got.
Yeah, me too.
That's
the irony
perfect.
of this.
Yeah,
I could have watched it live.
Yeah.
And I did watch it live with a disgusting look on my face as a 13-year-old boy.
Same way with Injustice for All. When one come out, I was like, that is just shit.
Yes.
I hate it. Now it's like, what was you thinking, you dumb? And moving forward, you just asked me about Black Label. New music, now I'm much more heavier. I like the heavier stuff. I like the, I know Pantera's not, and Pantera will never do nothing, and we had a discussion, me and Hoxie, on that. I think what they're doing with Zach and with Charlie is fantastic. I love it. And when it first came out, I was like, I don't know about this. And then I seen it and I heard it and I was like, oh yeah, this
This goes back to my once again statement. I wasn't a Pantera fan back in the day.
Yeah.
And the Abbott brothers, tragically one killed and one, died of a heart attack. And all due respect to the drummer, but that was all about his brother. I feel like he was the driving force behind that band and everything.
Yeah.
However, out of respect, he didn't want it to continue.
because his
now
brother.
he's gone.
Yeah.
And to me, my stance on it was, listen, you got 2 surviving members of Pantera. Everybody realizes that
They're not coming back.
they're
The
not
other
coming
two.
back. And I'm sure there's a money grab to that.
Absolutely.
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 But as far as Zach goes, Zach was in Benny's ear for years saying, let's do it. I would love to fill in for your brother.
Yeah.
And
there's only one person that could, and that's him.
And now the decision's left to the guys that are there.
Yeah.
And me being
and
a
Rita.
new Pantera fan,
and
I
Rita.
wanted to see it, and I got to see it.
Yeah. And that, I told me and you was talking earlier, I got a couple shows I'm going to go see, and they're club or theater type shows, because I hate going to big shows anymore. I don't want to go to an arena. I definitely don't want to go to a stadium. I don't like them. But if Pantera comes back, I will go see Pantera. That would be my one. Or probably Aerosmith. I'd still probably go see Aerosmith, even though it probably won't never happen. But if Joe Perry Project comes that I just seen clips of, I'm there.
I forget who's singing for him now.
Robinson from Black Crows.
Yes.
And then it's
Gary Sharon was doing it.
Yeah, and I think maybe he might have a couple of singers going to be doing part of that. But no, it's just, I know we've went all over the place, and that's what I love doing this, because we just go, we take it and run. Come hang out with me some more.
Absolutely.
I love it. I mean, you go back years and years, and we have a lot of history and like a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
You're very knowledgeable of what we've went through, because you'll say stuff, and I'm like, man, that's right.
And I'll fake the rest.
And I think the rest, just asked his wife.
Edit that out, please.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll do you like I do Hoxie. I'll say pick a subject, pick a date, and send it to me, and we'll go for it. But it'll end up like this. It was just, I said, you text me today. It was like, what are we gonna do? I said, we'll do GNR the first record, and how the second records are nowhere near what it is. And this is when
And then the next thing you know, we're on Zach Wild, who was never in GNR. That we know of.
that we know of. Up. Yes, he was.
Was he really?
He was part of YouTube it. YouTube Zach. He was part when he left Ozzy. He went to Guns N' Roses to help them on. They might have been recording. I don't. Google it. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I swear I think that's right. He was in Guns N' Roses for a few minutes.
There's nothing he can do. He can't do, right?
Yeah. Better watch out, CC. You're next. You see Zach Wild and boys.
Yeah. We were talking about how, I'm familiar with most of Ozzy's music, even his current stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, just let me hear the guitar.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who ain't playing or who is.
Yeah.
And it's Zach. He's got the most
That
original.
harmonics, that's what we was talking about.
He's with the Ozzy so much, he sounds like Ozzy when he sings on Black Label Society.
Yeah. Which is so good.
And I heard, and I'm not positive if this is true, you may have heard it, may not. I've heard that was one of the reasons that Ozzy cut him loose for a while. Because he was starting to sound like Ozzy. Is there any truth to that?
Might be. Very well could
Because
be.
he does. I mean, I didn't realize that.
Ozzy sort of pushed him out and said, "Hey, man, you got too much.
Like my
You got too much.
Yeah.
You got too much to do.
Ozzy's better than mine.
Yeah. You're making me look bad, Sharon." But yeah, my brother, I love you.
Love you too, man.
Thank you for coming, hanging out with me. This has been a fantastic episode. I've had so much fun.
And please don't fact check none of this.
Yeah, fact checking. Yeah, don't fact check it. Hey, we talk a good game when we might have lied a time or two. But yeah, it was absolute ball. I loved it. Very good time. Thank you guys for watching. Like I try to say all the time, don't be a dick. Be nice to each other. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you next time.